Hey guys, it's Jessie and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is super duper exciting because I have a very exciting parcel with me here today. So as you can obviously see by the title, thumbnail and everything, I am going to be doing a first impressions, swatches and semi-review of the new Beauty Bay Christmas collection. So they released the first part of their Christmas collection yesterday when this video is going up. So that was the 1st of October, and I will leave all the items in the collection down below in the description if you do want to check them out. But I picked them up straight away and they arrived today, which is super duper exciting. I cannot wait to play with this. I love the look of the palette. I think it looks absolutely stunning. If you've watched my channel before, you know I absolutely adore Beauty Bay. They're like my favorite eyeshadow formula. I literally love their stuff so much. So I just want to get into this and open it. So I think that's what we're gonna do. If you want to check out any of these products or my social media or my main channel, then I will link that all in the description. But I am just going to open this up. So they came out with, I think the Christmas collection has some lipsticks, some loose pigments and 2 eyeshadow palettes. The lipsticks aren't out yet, and there's also a couple of little mini sets with some of the products that are not out yet either. But I picked up both eyeshadow palettes. So I've got the Age of Opulence palette, which is the largest one, and then the Golden Age 9-pan palette, which is the smaller one. So this is what they both look like. So obviously we've got the main palette here. This is the Age of Opulence 20 colour palette. On the back it says, Age of Opulence, take centre stage and celebrate lavishly with the Age of Opulence eyeshadow palette. Inspired by Glamour, Decadence and the new Roaring 20s, the 20 shade eyeshadow palette is here to help you create looks that deserve the limelight. With velvety mattes and intense shimmers, all in a pigment-rich formula, these shades have a seamlessly blendable texture and major staying power for indulgent looks more opulent than the last. So also this little bit here is raised, which is really nice. I love this packaging. I think it's stunning. It gives me very much like 20s art deco vibes, which I'm pretty sure is what they were going for. So secondly, we have the Golden Age palette. For today's look, I'm going to be using the main palette, and I'm going away in 2 days time, so I think I'm going to bring this little one with me because it's kind of like a golden themed palette. That's very much my kind of neutral everyday looks, but I thought obviously this one's got more colours and this is probably the one people are most interested in, so that's going to be my main look for today. But I think I'm going to write this one first, obviously do the swatches and all that jazz. I'll be doing that for the other palette too, but just thought I'd get in with this one first because I'm not doing the look with it. So this is the Golden Age palette. It's a 9-pan palette. This on the back it says a 9-shade eyeshadow palette to help you create your show-stopping party looks with all the essential nudes and eye-catching golds. With by Beauty Bay's signature pigmented formula, these shades offer effortless blendability and major staying power, so your uber glam looks last as long as your party vibes. Pair with an eye base for the ultimate party-proof finish, which I think I definitely will do. I use my Revolution Conceal and Define as a kind of primer, and then for the shimmers I will of course be using my NYX glitter glue, so I've got those out ready. So here is the Golden Age palette. Oh my god, I love that. That actually feels like, for a £6.50 palette, I really like that packaging. It feels, I mean, it's not heavy, but it's decently weighted. Like it's not like light or anything. It feels really kind of luxe for the quality. Obviously it's cardboard and it's got this little gold bit on the front. Oh my god, that's so pretty. That is like, that just is gorgeous, that packaging. I love it. So here is the palette itself. This is what it, oh okay, nice. This is what it looks like. I'll remove the little clear sheet. I will be honest, I didn't look too much out of these before ordering them because Beauty Bay is my favourite formula and they have a tendency to be like, oh yeah, that was limited edition after it sells out. They have said this one is limited edition. I'm not too sure about this one, but like if you do want them, check them out. It's their Christmas collection, so I feel like it should be available till the end of the year, but you never know. So anyway, this is the palette here and that is just what it looks like. So it gives me kind of Huda Gold vibes a little bit, and I just think this is stunning. It's got a really nice amount of shimmers to matte ratio. For me personally, this is all that I could really need. That is stunning. So I'm going to swatch these now. I won't be playing with this palette today, but I'm going to play with it the whole of next week, so I'm really excited for that. It is about this big, small mirror, but you can see yourself in it. It's not zoomed in or anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and swatch these shades. So firstly we have the shade Gleam, which is a shimmer. This is a gold shimmer shade. Oh my god, just stunning. My swatches are never good. I always end up going halfway around my arm, so sorry if you can't see it too well, but that is the shade there. Just wow, no words. So then we have the shade Precious, which is like a matte white. So that's what it looks like there. I don't know if you can see too well. It's kind of more of a, it's got almost like a really light lavender hue to it. I don't know if you can see too well. Obviously you won't tell the difference. I'll use that to set my eyeshadow if I use this palette, so nothing too crazy. Then we have the shade Gilded, which is a bit more of a darker gold. So that is what that one looks like there. So slightly less foiled than the top one, but it's got kind of almost little bits of sparkle running through it. So it's kind of more glittery than the top one. So the top one's more foiled, and then that one Gilded right there is a bit more glittery. So then we have the shade Rush, which is just, I think, a regular matte brown. That's what it looks like there. That wasn't a very good swatch because I'm going in with my ring finger. But yeah, that is what the shade, oh, my swatches are so bad. I don't know why my swatches are so bad, but yeah, anyway, that is the shade Rush right there. Just a kind of regular matte brown, nothing crazy, but seems like a decently good pigmented formula. You can kind of see what it's looking like. That's kind of the vibe. Next up, we have the shade Bijou, which is this kind of really pretty gold shade in the middle. So that's what it looks like there. And I would just swatch this. That is stunning. So that is a almost more kind of honey toned gold. It's similar to the top one. Again, slightly less foiled. I think more of a kind of like shimmery formula rather than like the kind of metallic, I guess. But still really stunning. Then we have the shade Roaring, which is the other matte brown in the palette. So that is what that one looks like there. So it's actually quite similar to the one above. They are less kind of different than I thought. Obviously it's lighter in tone, but I mean, if you look at where the kind of shade Rush is, I guess, more blended out, definitely it looks very similar. But I mean, you can always use that to deepen up, like it is definitely deeper. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Then we have the shade Millionaire, which feels a bit more like Gleam, and I think is one of the super reflective shades again. So that is just that one there. That's kind of more of a champagne-y gold. It's definitely got more gold in it than like champagne, but it's definitely a bit of a lighter one. That one's really pretty, and as you can see, a bit more similar to the top one, I think, in terms of like being a bit more reflective and foiled. So next up we have the shade Glamour, which is kind of like a light beigey matte shade. I'm not sure how well this will show up on my skin tone, but yeah, that is what that one looks like there. So obviously you can see just a kind of very light matte colour. I'm sorry if you can hear a hoover in the background. My mum is hoovering outside. I'm not going to stop her, but yeah, so sorry if that is annoying. And then we have the last shade in the palette, which is a little bit different. This is the shade Glitz, and it's kind of like a, I don't know, is that kind of like a bronzy browny shimmer shade. So I will swatch that. Oh, that's really pretty. So that's got a little bit of a flip to it. So it's definitely got a bit of a purple kind of hue. So I think it's a brown base with almost like a purple-ish glitter running through it. So that is the Golden Age palette. I think that is just stunning. So here is the palette alongside the swatches, and I just think it's gorgeous. I definitely am going to get so much use out of this when I go away. It's like the perfect neutral palette for me. I love warm browns and golds. They're kind of my favorite shades to wear on the eyes, and I think this would be a really good dupe for the gold palette. I know it's slightly different, but like it gives off the same vibes. Like it's a 9 pan, plus I really enjoyed the packaging of this, so I definitely would recommend this. Obviously haven't used it on the eyes yet, but I really enjoy beauty based shades, so I don't think I would not enjoy it. But yeah, really excited to play around with this one a bit more. I'm definitely really happy to have that one in my collection. So now obviously we have finished with the first palette, which is kind of definitely more neutral. We have the Age of Opulence palette, which I started talking about before I went on to the Golden Age one. So I will open this one up. This definitely, I really love this blue packaging. It's kind of like a tealish, I guess. And then inside we have, oh, okay. So I did obviously see the cover of this palette. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, don't like this packaging. I think it would look much more gorgeous if it was kind of this on the outer box and this on the inner box. Just, I feel like this is so much more classy and nice. It also looks like this on the back, which is, I mean, I don't know. I don't love graphic art like this. I don't think it looks nice. I think it looks quite cheap, in my opinion. So this I much prefer. But again, it's not going to stop me from using the palette. So yeah, this is the Age of Opulence palette. So I will open it up for you guys. So here's what the palette looks like on the inside. So I definitely think it's a really stunning color story. I do think this looks a little bit like the Book of Magic palette that they released last Halloween, I believe. I will insert a little picture of what that looked like, and you can tell me if you think that these are similar. I didn't manage to pick that up, and I know a lot of people are kind of pining after that one, so this could potentially be a kind of good dupe for it if you are looking for something along the lines of that. Personally, it's kind of got more of the tones that I do prefer. Book of Magic was way more blue toned, and this has got kind of a few blue hues, but mainly kind of into purple, yeah, I guess, and as well as some neutrals. So I'm super duper excited to play with this one. I'm just going to pull the mirror off, just the little bit that covered it, so now you can obviously see everything. But yeah, so this is what the palette looks like. I will start by doing some swatches. I'm going to rub these off quickly to just talk about the palette. This one was £15, I believe, and I think it's a really good deal for the amount of shades that you get. I would definitely be very pleased with that. So firstly, I'm going to dip into the shade RSVP, which is just a kind of like creamy beige color. They always do these. I know some people don't like them. I don't mind it too much because I do use these to set my eyes. That is just what it looks like there, a very creamy matte. Next up, we've got the shade Prohibition, which is a kind of deep chocolatey brown color. That is what that one looks like there, just a really nice matte. So then next we have the shade Gold Digger, which I'm definitely excited for, and that is just this golden shade here. So obviously there is some overlap with the Golden Age palette because there is definitely some more golden tones in here, but I don't mind, I love those shades. So yeah, that is just that one there. Ignore the staining from the other palette. I haven't washed it off, I only wiped it off with a tissue, by the way, so that's white. So that is the shade Gold Digger. And then we've got a really gorgeous kind of greeny teal shade, which is kind of like the shade of the outside of the box. That is called Hope. That is gorgeous. I love that shade. I can't wait to play around with that one. And then after Hope, we have the shade Noir, which is obviously a very pigmented black. Wow, yeah, that is super dark, super pigmented black, so that is always a good one to have in. And I hate when blacks are kind of like a little bit grey toned, so I'm really happy to have a very good looking black. Next up we have the shade Speakeasy, which is kind of like an aubergine purple colour. So that's what that one looks like there. My swatch is really poor. There you go, that's a little bit better now, you can kind of see. So that is the shade Speakeasy. Next up, we're going into the shade Champagne, which is kind of more of a yellow gold toned. That is so stunning. That is the shade there, really gorgeous, just light gold. I just think that's so pretty. Like, I love tones like that. It's just gorgeous to play with. So then we have a little bit of a darker kind of tingly colour, which is the shade Rich. That one just looks like that. Ignore like my messy hands. So that is the shade Rich there. Really stunning, really gorgeous blue. I'll just go over that again. I feel like I don't have any tones really similar to this. I think it's so stunning, and I love the kind of way that they play off of each other. So next we have the shade Vintage, which is kind of like a grey with a gold flip, I think. So yeah, that is the shade there. So it's definitely a darker colour. So I'd say it's got a grey or black base with a really gorgeous gold flip. So it almost looks brown, but that is so pretty. I really like that one. Next up, we have the shade Curfew, which is a dark blue, kind of like a midnight blue colour. That is what that one looks like there. Sorry about my poor swatching at the end there. Yeah, so that is the shade Curfew there. So that is the first half of the palette done. And that's got kind of more of the kind of neutrally bluey colours, purples. And now we're going into the proper purples and a couple more blues. So I'll just roll this up because I'll probably need more swatching space. So next up we have the shade Jazz. This one's really pretty. This one's kind of like a proper like coppery gold, I guess. That is what the shade Jazz looks like there. Yeah, it's just like a proper honey yellow, like amber gold, I guess. Not yellow, more amber. So then we have the shade Flapper, which is a gorgeous bright purple shade, and that just looks like that. Stunning. More of a like a kind of halfway between pink and purple. It's not like a solid purple. Then we have the shade Silk Stockings, which is pretty similar to the first one actually. I'm not too sure why they included that, but it's just a kind of like another beigey shade. Seems a little bit redundant, but you know, it's fine. Then we have the shade Revival, which is such a stunning blue. Oh my god, that shade is gorgeous. So I'll swatch that there. That may be one of my favourite shades in the whole palette. That is just so reflective and stunning, and such a unique shade of blue as well. I haven't seen many palettes with a shade like that in it. Then we have the shade Dandy, which is another kind of slightly deeper purple, but still really bright and really stunning. So that is the shade Dandy there, ignore my awful swatch. But yeah, so you can see it's kind of halfway between almost the shade here and this one here. Really gorgeous kind of brighter purple. Then we have the shade Crush, which I think is so pretty. It's this gorgeous kind of like light yellowy gold. That is so pretty. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but it's got more of a sheer base and then just so much kind of glitter in it. Obviously not like pressed glitter, but just so shiny and reflective. So I think that will look gorgeous on top of some of these shades. Then we have the shade Velvet, which is a kind of deep, kind of purpley blue shade. So that's that one there. It's definitely a little bit drier than the others, so it's not like quite as pigmented, but still super pretty and really gorgeous. Then we have the shade Decadent, which is this midnight blue shimmer here, and that is just stunning. So that's always kind of got a little bit of the purple in it, because I don't think there are many purple shimmers, only really, wait, I think I've missed a shade. Yeah, I missed a shade. Very well, well done me. So there's the shade Ace, which comes in between Flapper and Silk Stockings here, and I forgot to swatch that, so I will just do that down this side here so you can see that is the shade there. So it's like a gorgeous kind of purple shimmer. You can't see too much shimmer to it, but it is a really pretty kind of purple sparkly shade. I might actually use that in my look, that's why I was like, why haven't I swatched it? And then we have the last shade, which is Lavish, which is a kind of like true blue shade. And that is what that one looks like there. So yeah, that is the Age of Opulence palette. I love this. I can't wait to play with this. I feel like it looks super unique and like a really exciting color story. So I think I'm just gonna get straight into playing around with it. The palette just is stunning, and yeah, so that is what the Age of Opulence palette looks like. Really stunning, and I actually think really unique as well, so I'm really excited to play around with this one. Okay, so I'm now back and much cleaner and not covered in eyeshadow, so I'm now ready to start doing my look with this palette. Obviously I'm just going to be pinning my hair back so it doesn't get in the way. I do just want to mention I am no professional with eyeshadow. I'm really like very average, so I won't be doing anything too fancy, just kind of like, I think I'm going to go in with some purples and just do like a little bit of a purple look with some of the gorgeous shimmers just to play around. So I'm not going to be like combining any crazy colours because I'm not very good at colour theory either. So it's literally just going to be a little kind of purple look today. Hopefully that's what we're kind of going for. So I'm just prepping my eyes with my Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I think this works really well as an eye primer. It's a little bit thicker as a concealer, but it kind of stays a little bit tacky, and I just think it's really nice. I really like using it as an eye primer, and it's a good shade because it like matches, I guess. So I am first going to go in with just a little flat brush. This is from LA Splash. This is their setting brush, and I'm going to grab into the shade RSVP, just this top one here, to kind of set my eye primer. Nothing too fancy, just pop it on there, and also taking that all the way up to kind of like my brow bone, almost, not quite, kind of up that area. Okay, so next I'm going to just start, I'm just going to start going into my crease. So I think, what brush do I want? So I think I'm just going to go in with this Sigma brush. So this is just the one that comes in a palette. This has got the E38 diffused crease. So I think I'm going to pop straight into the shade Flapper here, this kind of like bright pinky purple shade. And I'm just going to start popping that through my crease. Just to, you know, build up the colour, get a little bit of purple in there. I don't think I've got many purples in my collection, so I'm really excited to have this palette now and some really gorgeous purple shades to play around with. So I've literally just really lightly tapped in there, and it has kind of picked up really well on the brush. I think it looks really pretty, and it seems to be blending very well so far. I think think on the eyes, it definitely has a little bit more of a blue tone than the kind of pink one. Just slightly more so than it does appear in the pan. It seems like a very bright kind of pinky purple, but in person and on the eye, it's definitely kind of more of a ever so slightly lightly blue toned purple, which I mean isn't a problem for me, but just a little observation. So yeah, that is the kind of shade on there now. I haven't noticed any problems with that. I think it looks really gorgeous. So I'll just pop into the next colour. I think I'm gonna do Dandy here because it's similar in tone and I don't want to make things too dark. So I'm just going to pop this in from the outer corner and just blend it up a little bit into the crease. Okay, so I think I want my look slightly darker than that. Not anything majorly darker, but just maybe like just a little bit more in the outer corner. So I think I'm going to go into a velvet. It's a little bit more of a blue tone. I think I'm going to grab, actually going to grab the end of this brush, just the what is this, the E54 side, and I'm going to tap into velvet and I'm just going to tap this onto my outer corner. I don't want it to kind of come too far into the crease because it is more of a blue tone, but it's just a little bit deeper, and then blend that in. Yeah, that's definitely more of what I was going for. Then I'm going to pop a little bit of the same on the other side. Okay, so I really like the way that's looking so far. I love the way that's looking so far. I'm going to tap into a little bit of flapper again and just kind of tap a little bit off this time, and then just take that back through the front and mid part of my crease to just kind of blend it a little bit more together, just very lightly. I'm really liking the way things have blended so far. I think it looks very smooth and seamless. Okay, so I think that's all I want to do for my crease. I really love the way that looks. So I think next I'm going to put on a little bit of glitter primer. So I'm going to grab into my NYX Glyph Primer. I'm going to pop this on. I think I'm going to do it with a brush. Sometimes I do it with my finger, sometimes with a brush. It just depends on the day really. So I'm going to pop, sorry if I look over here, it's just where my mirror is. I'm going to pop a little bit on to my eyelid, and I'll actually grab this one so then I can look lower and use this mirror. And I'm going to blend, not blend, but just kind of put that on my lid in the shape of the where I want the shimmer to be. Okay, so then I'm just going to tap over it to make sure it's nice and sticky like I obviously want / need it to be. And then I think I'm going to go in with the shade Ace, this purple here, and I'm just going to tap that on in kind of my outer half of the eye, and I just use my finger to apply these because I use my finger to apply shimmers all the time. So that is the shade Ace there, which is just stunning. And I think I'm gonna go, what do I want to go for? Do I want to go for Crush? Well, I think I want to go for Crush, which is kind of more of the toppery shade. I'm gonna try that kind of in the inner corner and then kind of blend it into Ace. I'm not sure, might try and tap a little bit of Lapper onto the Crush just to kind of make it a little bit more purple tone, and then put a little bit on top again. Okay, yeah, I think that's definitely more of what I was looking for. It's kind of like a I guess purple into just a lighter color on the lid. I don't know if you can see. I really like the way that that looks. I think Ace is a really pretty shade, but it was like slightly, almost slightly too kind of cool toned for what I was initially going for with the kind of crease colors. But I think that is really pretty. I love the shimmers in Beauty Bay palettes. I think they look gorgeous. So yeah, I just think that's something. I kind of wish the shade, because we don't have any purple shades in here that are a bit more warm toned or a bit more purple toned, I think that would really make the palette, because obviously the shade Ace is the only purple shade and it's a little bit kind of blue. I obviously like the way that it looks. I still think it's pretty, but I just think like it was the only purple option, that's why I went for it. Whereas if I had more of a choice, I would have gone for a kind of more pinky / warm tone purple that kind of more so matched my crease shade. But overall I think it's looked pretty, so I'm going to quickly do the other eye. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a little bit of the lower lash line. So I think I'm gonna go, don't know whether I want to do purple. I think I'm gonna stick with purple, that's probably a good idea. So I'm gonna go in first with the shade Flapper, just all over my lower lash line. and then Dandy just in the outer corner to deepen it up again. And then I think for my inner corner, I'm probably going to pop on Champagne. I'm not sure how light that's going to be, but that's all right. So that is the shade Champagne, and I'm just going to pop that, as I said, on the inner corner. And yeah, that is the kind of final look. So I'm going to pop on some mascara. I'm looking a little bit crazy right now. I'm not sure how much I love the look, to be honest. Not exactly what I had in mind, but I'm going to pop on mascara and then hopefully we'll be all right. Okay, so I'm now back with mascara on and also some lip gloss. I just used the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Cake Shake. With my mascara now on, I am a much bigger fan of the look. I actually really love the way that it came out. I think it's really pretty, and I like the purple. So less of a hatred towards the look now. But basically, final thoughts on this palette. I really enjoy it. I think the colour story is really nice. I do think that it's missing a lighter, more warm tone purple. Something to kind of mesh with these kind of shades over here rather than the kind of blues. I think they could have maybe taken out one of these two shades, maybe like Champagne or Crush, and just popped in another purple. I think that would have really made the palette and definitely elevated it a little bit more. But overall, I'm a really big fan of it. I can't wait to dip into the blues, add more neutral tones. I'm a really big fan. Yeah, I would 1000% recommend this. It is limited edition, so I would probably recommend you get it now rather than later, because although it is a Christmas launch, you never know with Beauty Bay. So the links will all be in the description. But yeah, I am overall pretty pleased with this. I had no trouble with the mattes blending at all. The only issue I think really was potentially my shade choice. Ace is really pretty and I really do like it now. I think maybe Crush was probably slightly too light. I don't know, I can't really tell. I can't tell if it looks good or really bad. So anyway, had no issue with the mattes, and all the shades that I did use I really enjoyed. So I think they are really pretty. I didn't seem to have many issues with the swatches. It all seemed really nice. So for £15 I would definitely recommend this. I think it's stunning. The Golden Age palette as well, I think this is going to be perfect for me for travel. This is £6.50, so if you're going to get anything, pop straight on this. I know it's probably shades you already have, but I love, I cannot get enough of a warm neutral and a gold look. So this is perfect for me. So yeah, that is my first impressions and a kind of look done with the palette. I really enjoy it, so I'm very happy to now have both of these in my collection. So yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like down below. You can hit subscribe and turn the bell to our little club. Make sure you turn on all your notifications, then you'll be notified every single time that I post a new video. If you want to check out any of these palettes or my social media or my main channel, it will all be linked in the description. If you want to watch one of my other videos, there will be 2 now on the screen to pick from, as well as a load linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!